Welcome. This is HomeJab Live, Philadelphia's real estate TV show. I'm your host, Joe Jeswell, and this is our holiday show. I'm here with Bobby Daddis from Entourage Elite Real Estate and Nancy Kowalik from Keller Williams. Thanks so much for coming, guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks for inviting us.
Well, let's get right into it. The first question I wanted to ask you guys was, things are changing a lot in the real estate industry, or they have changed already. And one of the main drivers of that is certainly technology. So, Bobby, let's start with you. How do you think technology is playing a huge role today in real estate, and how has that changed the industry?
Well, it's crazy, Joe, because 90% of the home searches are beginning online, as we both know, and it's so different. This disparity between agents who are doing a lot of technology-driven services for their clients and those who are doing very little. Gone are the days where you can just throw a sign in the front yard, put a lockbox on, and walk away. Yeah. Clients are expecting a lot more of you. And in my case, when it comes to not just listing a house, but marketing a house, it's crucial to have a couple things in place, professional video, photography, etc., but also some great sales copy.
Well, there's a lot of information online, right, Nancy? I mean, so consumers can basically go online, start their search. In fact, 90% of searches for homes start online. So, I mean, all this information is right in front of people. How does that change the role of, the agent?
Well, it's actually pretty crucial to cut through that clutter, because there are so many different engines out there. From Google to Bing to Zillow and Trulia, and every agent looks at those. You have to really cut through that clutter and advertise direct to the consumer. So the role of the agent has become to find a way to know who that buyer is going to be for your seller, get to that buyer with the correct marketing, and then the process is still complicated, so you need an agent to walk you through it from there. But that technology role really needs to bring to the forefront your property, your listing, that home that you want sold. So I say I advertise direct to the consumer, similar to the way drug companies do these days. You literally have to be right in front and center, and technology is the way to put it there.
Do you think that a homeowner or someone looking to buy a house should first find a real estate agent, or should they first do a little research on their own online?
If it were me, I'd find an agent first. You want to find someone who's specialized in that area, because there are a lot of good agents, but not everybody serves every area well, or as well as they could. So once you find the agent, that person may have inventory that's not online. That person may have inventory coming up that's better suited. So finding a house and calling that agent that might represent it is not going to get you your best answers and your best representation, in my opinion.
I would say this, Joe, that so many home sellers like to go online to the Trulias and the Zillows, and they like to do their kind of preliminary home search before they even start marketing their home. So the way in which we as listing agents present our homes when marketing it to them can be a major effect as to who they choose as their agent when it comes to listing their own home. Whoever has the premier marketing, whoever's doing the most target marketing, as Nancy was talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean, your company, Bobby, Entourage Elite Real Estate, can you tell us a little bit how you set that up? I mean, you're really focused on internet marketing and technology and just having a big online presence.
Well, truthfully, my background came from online marketing in a lot of ways.
Okay.
So I was kind of a newbie when I joined one of the big box firms. I kind of took a look around and said, I think things could be a little bit better in certain ways around here, and technology was one of the main factors. So when we created Entourage Elite Real Estate, one of the major things we thought was, let's be on the forefront of technology. Let's be on the forefront of what we can offer our clients. And with that comes target marketing, Facebook ads, Google AdWords, that can really narrow down the demographic towards the buyer that might be looking for the home that you're selling.
Okay. Well, let's take a step back for a second. Nancy, tell us a little how you got started in real estate.
Sure. So my background is marketing, actually. I started out in radio a couple of decades ago. So I've always been involved with marketing. And once I realized that real estate was really about marketing, not about the details of the law so much. That's important, but that's not what it's all about. It's about marketing and property. So I made the transition about 8 years ago to step into real estate, though I've been involved in land and land development for 20 years. So it's kind of been a natural progression for me. And once, as I said, I put together the marketing along with the knowledge, everything just started taking off.
Right, and you focus mostly in South Jersey, right? I know you list a lot of properties in Mullica Hill, which is a beautiful rural type of area and just growing tremendously.
It is.
Is there a reason why you choose to just focus 100% in that one location?
That's a great question. So I'm the Main Street girl. I mean, when 3 years ago when I moved to Mullica Hill, I moved there to open a business on Main Street, a different business, kind of an antiques with a Christmas slant, while I was involved in radio, right? So I've always done more entrepreneurial things. So when I stepped back from that, after having children, came back into it, I was still very involved with volunteer-wise, with everything to do with Main Street beautification, economic development. And so I love the community. My kids love the community. I want to stay here. So for me, I'm the voice of the community. I like to be, or think of myself as the voice of the community.
Yeah.
I can really connect people. And I'm very passionate, obviously, about the community.
That's what a real estate agent's all about, right? Connecting people and being an expert in the local community.
Exactly.
So, Bobby, your background is really interesting. I've never heard a real estate agent with, well, tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Joe, I have quite a storied background. You know, I went out to Hollywood when I was 21. I was actually Jimmy Kimmel's executive chef for years for his television show and all the VIPs and the green room and all that cool stuff. So I lived a fantastically enjoyable, unique lifestyle for a long time. But I always did have this passion for real estate. I always loved the details and nuances and whatnot of a home. Was always looking online and stuff just for my own hobby almost. Yeah. When I moved back here, which is where I'm originally from, it was kind of a question of whether I was going to continue in the industry I was or make a change. And I'm a people pleaser 100%. Yeah. I have a tendency to wear my clients' emotions, which I think sometimes is a blessing and a curse. But you know, when I came back here, I had a good run. I was Rookie of the Year first year. At my last firm, was there for 3 years and managed to open up my own brokerage with the 2014 Montgomery County Association of Realtors President Sean Tamara. And it's been a really, it's just spiraled. It's been awesome.
Well, I guess now that I think about it more, being a rock star and being a real estate agent are really one and the same, right?
I guess so, yeah. That was my ultimate desire going out there, and I still play, but my ultimate desire going out there was to be a rock star. But there is something about being in front of people and really seeing a smile on their face and making them happy. And I think if you're a real estate agent who doesn't have the passion to satisfy that client and make them feel good about every experience they have with you, then you're probably in the wrong game.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Well, let's take a quick break. We have our featured property we'll take a look at is listed by Kathleen Carney from RE/MAX, the property in Garnet Valley, Pennsylvania.
It's Heather with HomeJab Live. Today I'm at 1066 Tall Trees Court in Garnet Valley, Pennsylvania. I'm here to meet with Kathleen Carney of RE/MAX Integrity to check out this awesome carriage home. This is a beautiful home. Can you tell me some of the special features of this house?
Sure. This is the Belmont carriage home, and the kitchen has the cabinets. You have more cabinet space, and then you have the granite countertops, the cooktop, and then also too you have a double oven. And of course they went with the upgraded flooring, and they went with upgraded backsplash.
So this is a basement?
Yes, this is the lower level. I know you feel like you're not in the basement down here, and there's so much light that comes in because of the sliders down here, and you do have the extra bedroom down here, the fourth bedroom. So if you want your in-laws to move in, or somebody else, you can be able to have move in with you with that feature down here.
This is an absolutely stunning view.
Yes, it is. Out here, it's great just to be able to entertain out here, to sit out here and relax and enjoy a cup of coffee, you know, in the morning, and just be able to take this all in.
So I can see we have neighbors. Can you tell me a little bit about the neighborhood?
It's a great neighborhood. It's actually quiet, but then there's a ton of kids and tons of families in the community. The school district was actually just ranked the top 1% in the country. And also too, you have Clayton Park right across the street for the kids to play. Plus we do have a playground in the community, and also have Clayton Park golf course.
Do you have a lot of properties in Northbrook in the Garnet Valley area?
Yes, I do. I've actually been selling in the area for about 17 years now, and I live in Northbrook also. So love the community and love the Garnet Valley area.
So if you're looking for a neighborhood to settle in, check out Garnet Valley and talk to Kathleen Carney about this property and all her other properties. Until next time.
Welcome back. Thanks, Kathleen Carney. Great listing there. And Heather, fantastic job. Bobby, I have a really important question I want to ask you about, and I think you know, a lot of the viewers may be interested in this as well. When you're getting ready to list a property or getting ready to buy, perhaps you want to interview a bunch of different real estate agents. What do you think are some of the key questions that consumers should be asking to find the right fit for them?
Well, I think since some agents do a lot and some agents do a little, some of the most important things that you're going to end up asking your agent are what they do to separate themselves from the other agent, and what they do to separate their homes, the agents, from other homes. One of the most important things that I like to think that you should be asking is, how much money are you investing in targeted ads for my listing in particular? Some agents don't want to spend much money, but I'll tell you, the more money you invest, the more return you get, and it is well worth it to put those extra couple bucks out there. So you want to find out how much experience they have with online marketing, considering that's where the majority of home buyers are coming from. One of my major pet peeves is poor copyright. I suggest all my agents at Entourage Elite study copyright, because that copy that you put into that MLS description, and a lot of people don't know this, but all the information that goes to Trulia, to Zillow, that's all syndicated from what the agent puts up onto the MLS. So it's really important that that agent have the capabilities to provide professional photography and Hollywood-esque videography, because this is what's getting spread all around the web, and most importantly, to have sales copy that's going to separate it from every other house in the area.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. I mean, Nancy, when you're sitting there at a listing presentation and the homeowner, this is the biggest financial transaction of their life, right? So like they're nervous and they want to make the right decision. What are some of the things you tell them to comfort them and make them feel like they're in good hands?
Well, aside from what Bobby said about technology and advertising, you want to have multi-channel advertising. You want to ask, do you have any buyers currently right now in your pipeline? Do you have any? Well, I have something called buyers in waiting. Okay. So the marketing that I do is so broad channel that at any one time, I have about 1,700 people in my database right now that are currently looking for homes in South Jersey. Mm-hmm. So I look at a client and say, I can break it down to area and price point, and very specifics, and I can say I might have your home sold currently. There might be someone waiting at this exact moment. So how many people can talk about that kind of marketing and that kind of reach in a marketplace?
Well, do you think that, the time what do you think is the average time it should take to sell a house?
It should take 30 to 45 days to get that house sold. If you're doing it right, you should have an offer within the first 10 days. It should be your asking price or above asking price. You should be asking those agents, what's their percentage of actual closing price, sold price, to their list price. Right. I can look at my statistics, did them last night, and over 90% of my listings sold between 95 and 103% of list price. Yeah. So that's a strong statistic. And how many people can say that?
I agree. And then to piggyback on that, Joe, I'll tell you, we can do as much marketing as we want, but if the home is priced too high, the home is priced too high. And one of the ways we get around that at Entourage Elite is we offer a premier home marketing package that comes with a pre-appraisal, a pre-inspection, obviously all the professional HomeJab oriented photography and video, and a couple other little odds and ends. But what it allows for us to do is get that pre-appraisal and get a little closer to the reality of what the house's value is. And by marketing the home at the correct price, you should be getting 95 to 103%, and you should be selling quickly.
Well, that's interesting. When you talk price, a lot of people out there who are watching this, they want to get the absolute highest price, right? Everyone that sells a house wants to get the record price.
Of course.
But when you overprice something, you're not going to get a lot of activity, right? It's going to just sit on the market for a long time. So how do you have that conversation, Nancy? When you're sitting there again at the listing presentation, how do you convince someone like, no, let's price it at this number as opposed to the world record highest price of all time in Mullica Hill?
Right. And so when I talk to customers and they do ask that question, of course it's got to be for top dollar, I explain that in the majority of my cases, even when I've sold it in 10 days, we are selling at a higher square footage rate than most other agents because of the broad-based marketing that we're doing. So if the average square footage cost per square foot is 123, I've had homes at 176 that we've sold in that time frame. So it's really about showcasing the property, making sure you have the right information, and it's got to be priced to what the market will bear. A good agent knows that market, knows the comparables, not just what the house looks like on the outside, but how it was constructed, what the privacy features are, what the school districts are. And so with all of those things taking into consideration, Mr. Seller, we still have to price your house for the market, not for what you would like to get out of the house. And that's a very honest conversation. It has to be had. And if we can't come to those terms, I don't list the property. It doesn't make sense because I'll come in later after they've perhaps failed with something and lost money in the process.
Well, and Bobby, I'm sure you come across this a lot. You know, a lot of people are looking on Zillow and they'll see the little Zestimate there, right?
Oh,
the
sure.
little number.
Yes.
I'm sure you've heard this, and so you'll come to them and say, this is the price at the market, where the market is, and they're like, no, it says something else online. Like, how do you have that conversation with them? I mean,
well, there's a couple things. First
Yeah.
off, it's very easy to transparency and honesty are key, as Nancy said. But you know, it's very easy to explain to them that it is an algorithm that creates these estimates.
Yeah.
Even Zillow will tell you that they're not on point necessarily, and that you have to really have an agent who knows the area, knows the comparables and the true comparables, and doesn't try and get the listing by allowing the seller to overprice the home. It's a total disservice to the seller to have the home overpriced, and whether they know that before they meet with you, they should know that when they leave you, and usually that honesty will get through to them. And if not, then maybe it's not a perfect fit for the agent and that seller. And typically that seller will find an agent who will overprice it, and it will sit on the days on market too long.
Yeah.
And in so facto, it'll end up being a less desirable place. It's going to get less money than if they just would have priced it according to the reality in the first place.
well, I mean, it's definitely been a rough, I'd say 8 years, right? I mean, in terms of prices. I mean, do you see the market kind of getting back into shape and moving in the right direction?
Well, I'd say that, you know, a lot of people want to say that the market's come back and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I think it's stabilized. I don't know what you think,
I would
Nancy.
agree.
I would say we're in kind of a stabilized pattern that will probably continue for a couple years. And good agents survive during these times, ups and downs. As long as you're offering your client what they deserve to be offered and not doing the bare minimum, you know, you'll get them top dollar. Now, is top dollar what they paid for it in 2008? Of course not. But our goal, you know, at Entourage Elite is to work with sellers who might be $10,000 or $15,000 away from what they need to get out. Stay on top of them, watch them pay it off for the next year, see what we can do to get them to the point that they can sell, or be creative and see what we can do to get them to sell now.
Yeah.
But you know, we might never get back to those numbers, but we're definitely better than we were a few years ago.
We
Well,
were.
I mean, you know, Nancy, Pennsylvania, South Jersey, to Philadelphia, it's always been a pretty stable market. It's not like South Florida or Southern California, right, where you see these big ups and downs. So have you seen the prices have you seen them stabilize as well in South Jersey?
I have. We have a little different market because in South Jersey, they're actually still building a lot of new construction. So there's a lot of land for sale, a lot of land that's not developed, and you have to be very cognizant of what's going on in new construction because all things being equal, in the age of HGTV, really people want brand new, they want bling, they want what they see on TV. They don't want to necessarily come in and do any work on a property. So you do have people in South Jersey. It's still a buyer's market. So you really have to be very aggressive as a resale, someone who's working to sell a home that's maybe 8 years old, 10 years old, certainly 30 years old.
Yeah.
We're seeing people now seeing equity come back enough that they can get out and retire.
Right.
That's a big trend I'm seeing right now. But in that respect, as a buyer's market, staging is key. You really have to pay attention to what that home looks like before you put it on the market, because those buyers are going to beat you up for every little thing. So
Well,
definitely still a buyer's market
That's
out
interesting.
there.
Let's talk about staging for a second. I mean, when you say staging, do you mean just kind of redecorating, cleaning everything up? Or are you talking about bringing in all new furniture and all new, just painting everything? Or just tell me a little bit about that.
So I think it depends on each individual property.
Yeah.
I have a great example of a property that was on the market literally for 697 days with 6 other agents.
Oh.
Spectacular home in South Jersey on 12 acres.
Yeah.
This house had wallpaper, it had paint colors, it was very specific. I came in as the 7th agent and said, we're not going to drop your price from $550 to $508. We're going to change your house. We're going to change your purple kitchen. We're going to change your wallpaper.
Yeah.
We're going to change
Why would you
all
want
of
to
these
change your
things.
purple kitchen? I don't
Exactly,
understand.
and they almost threw me out. They interviewed other agents who said
Yeah.
lower the price, and I said, listen, if you do the things I suggest, we're going to raise your price. So believe it or not, 6 weeks later they called back and said, okay, we're paying attention. They did the things I suggested. We raised the price from $550 to $585.
Yeah.
We relaunched it with a nice big broker's luncheon, and within 8 days had an offer and closed it. Within 5 weeks, they were finally able to move on with their life. And by the way, we got $565 for the house.
Wow.
So they were thrilled. So is staging important? Is getting rid of wallpaper important? Absolutely. I cannot be more clear about this point.
Bobby, how do you feel about wallpaper?
Well, it's funny. I love purple wallpaper. I think it's timeless. No, but it's interesting that she mentioned staging because part of our premier package at Entourage Elite offers the staging consultation. We have a professional stager on staff, And what we do is we know that there's not a lot of money to be spending on $2,500 a month of leasing furniture. It's just not mostly in the budget for most people where they're just squeaking out of their houses right now.
Right.
So what she does is she's able to go in, use what they have, do a full analysis, tell them what to do with what they have, what to remove, what to change at a minimal cost. And this again makes all that difference in the world between not selling for ages or being on the market forever. And
being able to talk about return on investment, because it's about
Absolutely.
using what's there primarily and getting rid of the things that are not necessary so that they have a good return on investment and get in and get out.
That's a good point.
And
it's a financial transaction. It's also an emotional sort of thing as well. So there's a lot involved here. Well, let's take a quick break. Check out a couple properties out in Manahawkin, the South Jersey Shore, listed by Valentina Gabella of Diane Turton Realtors.
Our next property is located at 326 Bay Lane, blocks away from the Manahawkin beaches. This property is listed by Valentina Gabella of Diane Turton Realtors. The price, $1,290,000. Prime waterfront location at the Jersey Shore, just a few short minutes to the beach and the private beach association. This property is a boater's delight with over 100 feet of bulkhead minutes to the open bay. There's water views from the family room with access to outdoor deck for easy entertaining. There are 2 bedrooms on the first floor, including the master bedroom with beautiful finishes. There are another 2 bedrooms on the second floor. This property is a waterfront gem. A huge corner lot offering 3 sides of privacy. Bring your family and friends to this oasis on the Jersey Shore. Our next property is located at 335 West Cupper Drive, also blocks away from the Manahawkin beaches, and it's also listed by Valentina Gabella of Diane Turton Realtors. This property is listed just under $400,000. It's a new custom waterfront home with spectacular wide open views of Barnegat Bay. Check out these gorgeous aerial views. The pristine Manahawkin beaches are just a few steps away from your new home. Who wouldn't love brand new construction built by John Stevenson, Paul Izzo, and the PJ's Contracting Corporation? In the rear of the house is a bulkhead perfect for launching your kayak. And perfect spot to dock your boat or jet ski. There's an open floor plan in this home with plenty of windows and sunlight. A large dining room, a den, an office, or TV room offers privacy on the first floor. There's a beautiful modern kitchen with high-end black granite countertops with honed leather finishes, wine and refrigerator. There's also a first floor full bathroom. The staircase is designed with glass inserts allowing sunlight to come through. The master bedroom is in the rear of the home with full views to the water and an ensuite high-end bathroom. There are also sliders to an outdoor deck right off the master bedroom. The second bedroom also has a private deck and a private bathroom. How about this huge laundry room with cherry flooring? Second master suite has cathedral ceilings, skylights, beautiful modern ensuite bath, and another private balcony. Our next property is located at 1111 Haynes Mill Road in Morristown, New Jersey. Listed by Christine Dash of Weichert Realtors. The price is $729,000. This home sits on beautiful 1.5 acres of landscape property. It's like living in a park. Hardwood flooring and custom woodwork throughout, along with 3 unique fireplaces, gives this home unmistakable charm. There is a ton of windows and natural light. Dream Kitchen boasts marble countertops, sub-zero refrigerator, and all high-end stainless steel appliances, along with a butler pantry and a large dining area. Abundance of cabinets. Kitchen is open to a great room with a warm and inviting brick fireplace with A-frame ceiling and double French doors. Stunning formal dining room with marble fireplace and crown molding. The first floor master suite is complete with a fireplace and a soaring cathedral A-frame ceiling. Covered porch leading to a spacious private backyard and deck. The second floor has a princess suite with walk-in closets and a full bath. Truly a one-of-a-kind home, ready for a new family to create beautiful memories.
Welcome back. Well, the final question for you guys. You know, it's the holiday time, and a lot of people usually ask, you know, is this the right time to be buying or selling a house? We all know that, you know, springtime or fall, perfect time. Is that true, or is the holidays a time when you should be listing a property?
So I have to say, this season has been amazing, and one of the things I tell to my sellers is, if you look up sale in a dictionary, one of the literal definitions is a transfer of warmth from one person to another. So if you think about that at this time of year, what is everybody thinking about? They're home for the holidays, they're off from work, they are looking at lights in the windows, they're thinking about the fact that there's not enough room around the table. So, and that warmth of the season really brings all of those values of home to everybody. I am the busiest I have ever been in my career right now, and people want to close by the end of the year. They want to see themselves in bigger spaces by next year. So if you think about this, really it's an excellent time. It's darker earlier, but that spreads that warmth. You walk into a home, if it's staged properly, lights are on and it's welcoming, that warmth is immediate when you walk into that home. So it makes it very different, and inventory is lower. So really, that's something to be considered as well. And inventory, you need some fresh inventory. If you're looking to move, you put your home on the market now and plan to be moving in the spring, the weather starts to turn, you're done. It's all good.
You agree with that, Bob?
Yeah, she's absolutely right. In fact, you know, and coming from a buyer's perspective, some of those homes that in the spring might have been on the market and were out of their reach, now those sellers may have become more realistic, and sometimes December, January is the time to pick up the best buys that are out there.
Absolutely.
On top of that, you know, spring's always been great, yes, but our spring is starting to disappear a little bit, Joe. We're kind of just going from winter to summer. So, and this first days it gets warm, they want to be out hanging out on the weekends doing some fun stuff. So I think there is a little less of a time period that buyers and sellers have in mind. And when you throw a listing up at this time of year, some buyers that came out of the woodwork in the last 2 months who are willing to buy over the winter, your home is going to stand out because there is less inventory, as Nancy said.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, that's pretty much all the time we have. I just want to thank you again, guys. It was really great, you know, great conversation. Bobby Daddis, Entourage Elite Real Estate, Nancy Kowalik from Keller Williams. I'm Joe Jeswell. This is HomeJab Live. Happy holidays. Thanks so much for watching.